Hi, everybody. My name is Grace Marin. This is our first time actually doing some interviews with nursing students. Um, my sort of creative goal was to, or is to, commemorate this time in history that will never be repeated, hopefully in our lifetime, of a pandemic. And I specifically wanted to capture nursing students in their junior year because that's when you start your clinicals. And given the fact that there's so many restrictions right now, I just wanted to know what it's like as a nursing student. I've been a nurse for over 30 years, and I remember my junior year well. And I remember being stressed as it was. And I particularly have a heart for nursing students this time. So I have two young ladies who are in their junior year right now, and I'll let them introduce themselves to you, and just going to ask a few questions and banter back and forth. Let's have fun. Off to you guys.
My name is Joy. Just entered our junior year, fall semester of 2020.
I'm Sam. I'm also a junior. That's really it.
We're very close friends. We live together.
Yeah.
We do work together. So
we met at our nursing orientation.
Yeah.
Wow. So let me just ask you a couple questions. If you can look back to the summer, anticipating the fall, we still don't really have a clue how things are going to pan out, as the news keeps saying colleges are now showing higher incidence of COVID. Some schools closing live classes or limiting it. What's it like been for you since you started? Today, September 13th, 2020, and you've been in school now for how many weeks?
About a week and a half. Yeah. You wanna say summer going in?
Okay. Well, going into school this year was definitely a different experience.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of one of those things where, the past 2 years I thought I knew what to expect. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go, and like these are what my classes are. This is how everything's gonna be. But going in this year, I just kind of let go of everything, any expectations, and I'm just kind of was thrown into it. I didn't really think about like, oh, this is how it's gonna be for the next 3 months. I just kind of like, I'm just gonna take it week by week, day by day, and see where everything goes. Totally different mindset this year, definitely, and just go along.
Mm-hmm. Because everyone doesn't know what's still going on. They're trying to get a person as much as possible, but it's confusing, and there's no one to blame.
Yeah, that's the key thing. I was actually listening to a podcast a couple days ago while walking around my neighborhood, and this speaker was talking. He wrote an amazing book. I can't wait to buy it. And he talks about the stretchiness and the chasiness of our life. So, Sam, what you described of being stretchy, meaning not being so hell-bent on having things the way you had planned, is the way to stay resilient and to stay healthy. And the idea of chasiness, of chasing things that you want, and it needs to fit into your idea of what you thought things should be, is the road to kind of defeat. You can expect that you're going to not be in a good place. You keep looking for something that isn't going to be there.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
Yeah. How about you, Joy?
Just for going into this semester, I don't know. I guess we went into quarantine, and it kind of just paused everything. So we had our expectations, like Sam was saying, and we were about to prepare for our clinical clearance, and things were just put to a halt. So it didn't hit me until, I don't know, maybe like the first day of school that wow, we're going into it. We're actually having some in-person stuff. We're able to go to the hospital, do some clinicals, and then each day as we're having class, it's definitely like processing more. It's still taking longer than I had hoped, but it always takes a little bit of time in the beginning of a semester when you're adjusting to getting back into school and looking at your syllabus and everything.
So have you guys been at the hospital yet? where you're supposed to be?
I haven't yet. I did go to one of my in-person labs though. They're like alternating weeks basically for labs. And it's just a weird experience because you're wearing a mask and a face shield, and like there's things that you can't really do now, and they just kind of have to explain it to you instead of actually doing it. So
Yeah. Yeah, all of it. So I wonder for you, and just kind of switching gears a little bit, during COVID, have you found that you are seeing the world differently than when you had before the pandemic, in terms of, um, I don't know, your viewpoint of life, your future? Any thoughts about that?
I don't know. This makes, because I'm very like nostalgic when I think about school from last year, because we keep bringing up memories of like the time, like a year ago today,
Yeah.
we were, just moving into our apartment, our first off-campus apartment. There were so many exciting memories, and I don't know, now it's like definitely took things for granted. Like, who would have thought that I took for granted just walking down a sidewalk and not trying to like cover my face?
Mhm.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. How about for you, Sam? Anything that's different?
I definitely not taking things for granted and just doing things when I can do them now. I think that would be a big, I mean, it's a mindset now, but especially when we get out of all this and there's even more that I could be doing. Also just taking things as they come, not being so stressed about the future and thinking about every little thing that can happen. I'm just kind of, sometimes just got to accept things that happen and just live with it and deal with it and make.
The one last question is, if you could tell your freshman and sophomore nursing students who are in your school, not knowing whether COVID's going to be completely gone by the time they get to junior year, what kind of wisdom would you share with them?
That's a good one. Let me think. I think that one thing I would tell them is to not be so hard on yourself. I remember going to freshman year, I was very stressed about everything. I was very nervous, a very nervous freshman. And I wish I just had more faith in myself and believed that I could get through it, to take it day by day, especially in college. I feel like we just go by weeks. Every week you just plan it out and see what happens. I think I would tell them that. Just be easy on yourself. Believe in yourself, definitely.
I agree 100%. I definitely think like be easy on yourself is a huge one. Because, you know, freshman and sophomore year is a lot of prerequisites, and of course those are very important and you need to pass them. But at the end of the day, this is your college experience at the same time. And when you're in school, you can't just be constantly thinking nursing, nursing, nursing. Like, this is a time to like network, meet other people, find your interests, find your self identity, you know. And definitely something that I regret not doing sooner was like just putting myself out there. Like, you know, even if it was something that I was slightly interested in, I wish I just was like, I'm going to do it. Like, no, don't hesitate. But yeah, I feel like I started a bit late on that, and like I do regret it a little bit, but I'm glad that I did it than not trying at all, you know? So
yeah, that's great advice.